Hello, gorgeous.
Hi.
Look at the sun on your skin. It's radiating. Huh?
Pouring with rain today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's a glow. There's a glow about you. I got the window open, the curtain open, but there's no sun. So maybe
Nice.
the rain is heading here.
And so nice to have you, Coco. And so how did you end up in Bangkok and in Thailand?
I was finishing up a contract in Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure if I was going to renew, but then I got a call from a GM that I'd worked with in Beijing, and he said, "Hey, I just went to Bangkok, and I'm going to work at a hotel. I need you to come and start my bar." And so I followed him here. Yeah. So, but I had been working in Southeast Asia. I just did not have Bangkok on the radar at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had no idea. I didn't get a chance to study it out. Normally, I go endlessly on the research and like, what's it like? And is it safe? I just sort of was here. And it was a happy surprise.
That's good. How long has it been now?
3 years.
Wow.
More than 3 years. Yeah. 3 years and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. So when did the singing and the performing begin? Were you doing this in Washington as well?
Well, in America, every block there's an amazing singer. So I grew up in musical theater in school, but I never had like the lead part or anything. So singing was not the first thing I thought I could survive with. I'm looking at you here, right?
Yeah, I'm looking the other way. It's all right.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll edit it.
Okay, great. I was a secretary. I went to secretary school because that was the thing you did, growing up. If you didn't, your parents didn't have a lot of money. So, and I loved it. I loved, the idea of being that, cute secretary that's really smart, that's the support for her boss. And I ended up doing that for 12 years. I worked for some big fashion fragrance companies, L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, and I worked for a marketing VP. So that was really interesting, but I started traveling with them and I just thought, one day I'd love to travel and sing. And the universe must have heard me. Mm-hmm. Because I would go to sales conferences. I ended up getting into sales. Go to sales conferences, and you know how you meet at the bar for a drink after a long day of meeting with clients and, trying to do everything they ask for. And we would meet at the bar and there'd be some trio over there and some female singer or male singer. I'm thinking, and nobody knew, no one knew that I sang. Mm-hmm. And so it was sort of like that longing. And so finally, long story short, I was selling, advertising, and I got a call to sing in a wedding band in New York City, and I did it. I took it. And that was such an amazing experience because New York City is full of amazing, talented musicians from all over the world, and I got a chance to work with them. And they sort of raised me up, they raised me up in the business. And after a while, I was just like, you know what? I gotta fly. fly. Mm-hmm. Someday I'll fly away. Mm-hmm. I had to get out of New York, and the first spot was Paris. And how lucky was I? So Paris, and then 16 countries later, I'm here.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's great to take you from Washington and put you in Bangkok, where there's just one of you or one of your style. I'm sure it's very interesting to have in Bangkok. I remember when you sent me the first voice note, I was like, wow, even you just talking.
Thank you.
This lady has a voice. So where do you perform in Bangkok? What kind of events do you do?
Well, I started out at a hotel called the Sukhothai. I'm rather known for 5-star hotels, but my second year here, I started at the St. Regis on Friday nights, and then that blossomed into a couple of other bars. And so I got like to get to know people for real, not just the 5-star business travelers. And I realized, wow, this city is really a melting pot as well, like as New York. It just felt like, New York. You can hit the ground running here. So I got to meet a whole lot of musicians. So I've played at a lot of little spots. You like a residency again. I took the residency at the Peninsula Hotel. And before COVID, I was booked here until April next year, 2021. But now the hotel can't open. And so I'm off to all my little private projects, and I'm going to travel soon. But hopefully I'll be able to get back to Bangkok.
Yeah.
Everything's up in the air. I don't know, but but the last year it's been the Peninsula Hotel.
Lovely. It's nice to keep your kind of fingers in the kind of more underground scenes as well, where you meet people. Yeah. If not, I become a zombie, and there's a lot of singers, and I don't fault them. It's hard to have your feet into kinds of waters, river and an ocean, but it keeps me so present and in the moment of what's happening with the music. And it earns the respect of the musicians. And without their respect, what am I really doing? What am I doing? So I feel like it's almost like you need to keep your soul, especially for your music as well. But then you also need to sustain yourself. So you've got to find a way to do it all. So how's it been? Here on Koh Phangan, we have a lot of DJs. So a lot of DJs are out of work. Also a lot of performers like dancers. Not so big on the live music here. There's a few. But how is it for an artist at the moment in Bangkok? Are things opening up now? Are you doing more gigs?
I'm getting calls because I spent my summer in Hua Hin thinking that everything would open up by now and the hotel would be back and travelers would be back, but no. So yes, there are some singers, mostly Thai, that are getting work back. But yes, it's opening up. Bars are opening up. There's a few new spots. Some of our favorites have closed. So it's a new ball game, but there's new energy, and I'm so hoping I get to stay, and but we'll see.
So how do you like practice to be a singer? What do you need to do?
So I coach singers. I coach not how to sing. I don't teach you how to sing. You got to already have a talent. So the first thing is if you have a talent. And the way I coach singers, it's basically a performance kind of a thing. If you already have a talent, someone said, girl, you could sing, or boy, you could sing, or you went to school and you got a degree in singing. But now what do? You've got this talent. Some people are stage shy. They have stage fright. Some people sing in different genres but don't know how to pursue a career in it, because unfortunately the genres are like a box, boxes, and singers have to sort of pick a few. Are you a recording artist? Are you a studio recording artist? Are you like to go on tour with other bands, rock, jazz, soul, country? So if you are a singer and you have talent, and you know what kind of music you already love to do, maybe you want to just be with your guitar in front of intimate audiences, I would suggest, the first thing I always suggest to my students is to get a song list of about 25 songs together that like the back of your hand. And if you could sing, either you're a musician as well or work with musicians to develop those 25 songs in the style that, in your own way, then you're already halfway there. Because even a lot of singers go to school, they get degrees, but they don't know the song. They don't know what the lyrics are about, and they don't want to let go of the lyrics. They need it in front of them. So if you can sing and you got 25 songs together and you can do those 25 songs without looking at the lyrics, and that means then your heart is involved, then you can go anywhere and you can sing anywhere. And there's lots more to it, but those are the basics that I would suggest.
And what's your boxes then, Coco?
It's funny, I'm a lot older and I've been doing this for a longer time. So I have changed my boxes from cardboard to air.
Yeah.
So when I was in New York, there was all these purist jazz musicians, and they were like, and you didn't go to school and you don't know this. And oh boy, did I go home crying. Yes, I did. And did I feel small? And did I feel like, well, maybe I should work towards fitting into a box? But guess what? The universe sent me Keter Betts. He played bass, upright bass with Ella Fitzgerald for 25 years.
Wow.
He played 11 years with Dinah Washington.
Wow.
And he is from my hometown of Washington, D.C. And he said, young lady, I'm going to tell you everything I know. And I have yellow pad of just notes I took with him. But the main thing he taught me was, don't you dare go to school right now, so that they can unteach your natural talent and your abilities. Because I was so insecure. And he also taught me to discover who I am until I die. So within the music, I've never arrived and I've never figured out who I am. So every song, every night, every performance, every wedding, every birthday party or anniversary, I ask myself, who am I now today? And so I hope that my audience can get something new and it'll give them a reason to come out and see me again. She's not just standing there half dead looking at lyrics. And that's just my challenge. I'm not putting anyone else down. That's just the challenge that was presented to me, you know, when my feelings were hurt.
Yeah. It's incredible story. Yeah, really nice. So how is it? He
saved me.
It sounds like it, yeah. For some people, I guess going to school and learning things, and we could all do it in different subjects, is the right thing to do. But when you've got a natural ability, sometimes you shouldn't go and like you say, let people undo this kind of pure thing that's different to everybody else. Yeah.
Yes. But you know what's interesting? It's like I think everyone should go to school if they can do it. Because I want to be able to talk to the musicians in a certain way. However, when you go deep with it, it's like, but this specific journey is mine.
Yeah.
So when you get that kind of understanding with the universe and your spirit and, you know, all of that, then it's like, I'm not going to be upset with myself. I'm not going to, you know, judge myself in that way. So then I don't waste any time doing that. And then I can just get to the music. And people have to leave their egos at the door when they work with me, or they never work with me again. Either they're choosing or mine. Either way, we both can go away happy. You know?
Yeah, that's the best way to be, I think. So how is it for an artist living in Bangkok? You work nights, I would guess, most of the time?
Yeah. We work nights. There's some afternoon shenanigans going on. Sometimes we get hired for it, but it's mostly night work. It's great because you can hop on a bike and be somewhere fast. But I think the vibrancy of Bangkok, you know, the markets, you know, the late night markets, the stands where you can get any kind of food anywhere. There's a feeling about it. Whereas in my country, mom and pop shops, corner shops, they're non-existent.
Yeah.
So at night, there's just like a spookiness. In most of the major cities, there's just like a creepiness, you know. So in Bangkok, there's just, you know, people on their bikes, taxis honking their horns. It's just an aliveness that I love. And even after we finish performing, we can go meet up at some other place and talk about our gigs. Bangkok is alive. It's
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah, that's great. And what's your plans? You said you were going to travel. So do you plan to travel soon somewhere else in Thailand, or are you going to leave for a while?
Here is the thing. I mean, and this is real talk.
Mm.
With the unexpectedness of my contract being paused.
Yeah.
And therefore my work visa paused. There is the vulnerability of not knowing where I'm going to be. And that's a part of being an artist, though, isn't it? It's, be able to pack up your bags in a few hours and go. I'd love to stay here. And obviously I can get some work here and there, but I'm used to having, all the paperwork and everything, legit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So if that's not legit, then and then I have no idea where I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of people that are saying, "Hey, you can come here. We only have 50,000 COVID cases." Like, oh God.
I know.
I don't know. And somehow I always get rescued somehow. So
okay, that's good.
Hope.
But you would definitely come back. You see yourself being in Bangkok for a few more years?
Yeah.
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 And
I love it here.
Do you record any of your music, or are you mainly a live performer?
No. I started writing songs about 2012, however long that was, 8 years ago in Sweden. And I released some music in Sweden with a Swedish producer. He basically is a mashup producer, they call it, where he, put all these sounds together based on other people's music. And I wrote some lyrics to that. So I have 2 songs on Spotify and iTunes, Amazon, that I wrote in Sweden. And that was released 3 years ago, actually. And then I wrote a song with an Italian producer. It's a house track. So first of all, I when I say my boxes are now air, I sing jazz with my jazz quartet. I have a groovy 8-piece band that's more, groove music.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can do house music all night long.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You should definitely come to Copenhagen.
That's why when Black Coffee was here.
Yeah.
Black Coffee was here back in February or March.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot when it was. March. I was right in center, honey. Honey, I was. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. So yeah, I have music on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have been writing a lot more, but I wanted to open my own publishing company, and all that is in the works for this summer. Like, ooh. So that I can own the rights to it, because people own the rights to my own stuff, and
I see.
It feels funky.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing I teach my students is to the business side of being a singer, because I wouldn't want what happened to me to happen to any of them.
Yeah, so that's a good point, actually. And what's the audience like in Bangkok? Well, I guess you've got the 2 sides. Like, you've got your sort of luxury side, and then the other side. I mean, what are the crowds like? What are the people like who come and see you?
Well, it's so amazing, and one of the reasons why I really fell in love with Bangkok super fast was that King Rama IX was a musician, and therefore there's all these universities and colleges and schools for music, and so there is a high level of musicianship here, and what that affords travelers that come here and locals alike is great quality music. So years later, I come on the scene and people are asking me for B-sides of albums from the 70s, from the 80s, they know their music.
Wow.
With regards to jazz, that's the kind of music that the king, previous king, recorded a lot of jazz. And his music was really, really nice, really nice. So people request, Ella Fitzgerald stuff. Um, the young millennials here, they want me to do Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. And so I've created my own form of jazz hop,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and I can appease, like, some nights at the Peninsula there would be a table of 10, and they just finished a conference, and they're business travelers with their suit and ties, and they're kind of exhausted. They don't need heavy music. They want to hear Fly Me to the Moon. And then I've got a group of millennials, a little loud. They're like, Coco, come on, pump it up. So my band, I can look back at them and say, let's do a jazz hop.
Yeah.
And so so we'll start off, fly me to the moon, let me play among your stars, right? So, but then after the piano solo or the bass solo or whatever, the drummer would go, fly me to the moon, let me play among your stars. I wanna play, ba 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 ba. So I can blend it in according to the audience, and then I can even spit some rap. I wanna fly to the moon. If I really, really wanna go fast, I can go fast just like that. So I have built up the confidence over the years, and basically claiming whatever room that I'm in. It's like, this is my room. I can make the music however I want. And so the audiences are starting to want more. They're starting to be international as they, they travel and come back. They're like, Coco, do some Jill Scott, do some, I'm like, what do you know? So
yeah.
The audience in Bangkok is well versed, a lot more than some of the other Southeast Asian countries I've sung in.
Yeah, there's a lot of culture in Bangkok that, being down here on the island, we miss, actually. So yeah. But we do have a place called Alcove. So if you ever come, and you would fit so well there, but then you would fit so well at a house party with a live singer as well. So please come.
I almost came there last year.
Yeah.
There was some jazz festival that was being put together just so that I could come, but it didn't work out. The whole organization of it didn't work out at the time, but it would be lovely. Because I would love to sing. Actually, I've done it a few times in Thailand. Have my shoes off, feet in the sand, and my band and I right at the edge of the water almost. Couple of weddings we did like that. That's freedom, man. That's pure, like, hippie freedom.
Yeah. So, Coco, leave us with your music philosophy. Leave us with something inspiring for people who are watching.
Well, anyone that thinks music is just for Friday night is so missing out. Music is medicine. And at a certain frequency, it heals our DNA. It's powerful. And that's why we've got to develop our own playlist. We got to make a playlist for when we're happy, when we're sad, when we just moved into an apartment, when we just about to get on a flight, when we broke up with someone. We need music to do all that it's supposed to do. And the more we get familiar with the words that comes with the songs and the musicians and what they're doing, the more the planet, it's like we're hugging the planet. Because when you go to see live music, you won't just feel the beat. You'll understand the words, and you'll be able to appreciate the musicians and all that was involved in delivering that music. And in a way, it's like the music is hugging you, and you can hug the music back. And that's what I think. I mean, the plants use it to grow, and so many things need it. So I would just like people to get more involved, like back in the day, when you bought an album, you open it up, you read from front to back.
Yeah.
And you knew who the drummer was, you knew who the bassists were, they were all cute. But anyway, you know what I mean? And you understood why that person wrote what they wrote. And I think that is coming back. I think people want real. They don't want, DJs are great, but it shouldn't be the everyday norm. It should be, and in fact, I encourage people to buy instruments and play it at home. You know, dry your hands off in the dishes and then, you know, play that, use that to yourself. Our soul needs it, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I even have this.
Ooh.
Can you imagine being in a relationship and you guys are fussing and fighting, and then he says, well, I'm upset with you, and you just say, it will change the entire vibe.
Yeah. I've been shaking my baby's rattle, and like, I am definitely gonna get him so many instruments. Yeah.
Get him instruments. I mean, he needs to see and feel it. His DNA, his body.
Oh,
and, you know, it's so needed in this world today. And I think the frequencies on the planet will change when we all fall back in love with the making of music and all that's involved. And I also want to say, I just finished writing a book of poetry after singing so many other people's stories. I realized I had to speak my own. So, and it's a lot of it's spoken word and a lot of it has music. So it's audio, Kindle, and paperback ready in a few months. It's gonna be
wonderful. Yeah, it sounds
yes, and
great.
It's called Jazzy Thoughts.
Yeah, well, your magic comes across even all the way in Bangkok. So thank you so much, Coco.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. And tell everybody there, invite me to Coco.
Yeah, we will. We will, for sure.